And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day, committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, self-defense, so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
We want you to save our hotline number in your phone because at some point you're going to need it. 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
Call us on the hotline. You can call or text our hotline, 813-670-7372.
Here's my number, so call me, baby.
And bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. A lot of information available for you at consumerqb.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors. You can watch our live show version, live stream version, compliments of WeBeam TV from PlatinumMVPRealty.com, consumerqb.com, that is. And you can see testimonials, videos, live stream, show contributor contact information, and submit the form. We'd love to hear from you. And last week we had a lot of people reaching out and record calls to the show, so we thank you for that. And Intelligent Talk Radio here. We got some intelligent folks here in studio with us today. We've got our self-defense expert, Joe Harrison, martial arts expert and owner of Harrison Martial Arts. Welcome in, sir.
Thanks for having me again, Brandon. It's great to be back. It's a new year. A lot of great information out there for the consumers, for everybody. Just really good education and information for everybody that's listening today.
That's right. That's right. Good stuff. We had yesterday's show. We had Thomas King from Florida Firearms Academy talking about the weapons side, the concealed carry, and some of the events they're having. So this goes hand in hand with that.
Oh,
Follow up from
absolutely.
yesterday's
Absolutely.
show.
There's a lot of stuff that I'll be able to maybe even bounce off of what he already said and just really help everybody become more educated on those matters.
Perfect. Also, Leo Cannyn, Beryl Engineering, back in studio. Welcome in, sir.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I mean, yesterday we talked about having a firearm as a concealed weapon, and today we'll be talking about using your fist as a concealed weapon. This is just awesome.
There you go.
So keeping with the theme, yesterday I talked about amusement park rides. Now, those people typically live in mobile homes, so we'll talk about our mobile home inspections today.
There you go. Mobile home inspections. Good stuff. All right, and we also have Paul Romero calling in as well. He's going to be phoning in from Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. He's the director of sales and marketing. And let's go ahead and give a shout out to Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. It's a whitewashed Mediterranean palace with expansive luxury suites and with balconies overlooking the Intercoastal Waterway as well as the Gulf of Mexico. You've got the Castile restaurant on site, excellent food, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And you also have the rooftop, the beautiful, amazing rooftop there, the 360 Lounge, where you can see gorgeous sunsets over Tampa Bay. Now, make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you, and you're going to get 20% off of your stay over at Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora, our official hotel partner on St. Pete Beach. Beautiful place to hang out.
Sun is shining, the weather is sweet.
And we always start you off with a little bit of an audible here. So we're going to call that audible 2-minute quarterback drill here. Brandon Rhymes, as you know, I'm a published author, professional speaker. We'd love to talk to your group or your organization as well with some great content we have lined up for you. But today we want to talk about self-confidence and your self-content. You know, it's the way that it's the view that you have, the glasses or the perception that you have of the world, and it comes from within. It comes from raising your self-esteem. It's your reputation with yourself. You know, and the more times that you can stay true to yourself, self-discipline, you can stay true to your habits and develop those healthy habits, the better self-confidence and self-esteem you're going to have. And it's important to note that it's not external. It doesn't come from other people or comparing yourself to other folks. What you want to look at is the ability to help keep yourself on task. You know, how much can you focus on tasks that are goal achieving versus tension relieving? You know, a lot of people want to have those tension relieving tasks versus the goal achieving. And a person who can become, and the best yardstick is to do the right thing. You know, be congruent. The more that you can be congruent and not have those internal lies going on in your mind, it's going to help you develop your self-confidence. So no hesitation, develop the self-confidence, and the number one discipline is the power of self-discipline, the ability to make yourself do what you should do, whether you feel like it or not. So there's your 2-minute drill, the quarterback drill for you. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this content here today. We've got self-defense expert and martial arts expert, owner of Harrison Martial Arts, Joe Harrison, here in studio. So yeah, man, what's new in your world?
There's a lot of. I can't say there's a lot new in my world, just because it's always repeating itself to the public. It's I mean, there's nothing that's really cutting edge right now, except for just there's a lot of the education is rising. It's going up. There's a lot of people inquiring more and more about self-defense, about martial arts, and things like that, mainly because of the recent shootings we've had in the last few years.
Yep.
Which is very, very disturbing, very startling, but it's also an eye-opener or an indicator as to what we need to do in response to that as a community, as a society, and all that. And the one thing I want to say on that is the 7%. And the 7% are the people that actually know how to defend themselves or actively participate in martial arts training in the United States. So less than 7% of the entire United States population actively participates on some level, martial arts training or self-defense. To give you an idea what that 7% is, there are over 321 million people living in the United States. 7% of that is about 17 million.
Right.
So that's extremely low number.
Right.
Basically, let me give you an idea what that number is. There are more than 20 million people that live in Florida.
Right.
So less than the entire state of Florida knows how to defend themselves.
Right. And
So
what's that based on? Like, what's the stat from, or how does that?
The statistics are actually that's from the FBI statistics.
Wow.
So you can go on the FBI website and find that out. But it does fluctuate. It does change. But for the most part, it kind of remains in that percentage. Mainly because we've tried to create a very civilized society to the point that we don't need that.
Right.
And what happens is once you take that from us over a period of time, when we need it, we don't have it.
Right.
So what's the old saying? I'd rather have it, never need it, than
Right.
need it, never have it.
Right.
So there's been a slow removal of our ability to defend ourselves because we've become so civilized.
Yeah.
So when it actually has, when it comes time for us to know how to do it, we're completely clueless.
And
So-
something Thomas was saying yesterday, I was talking about how I sign up for those text alerts that come to your phone. Here's
Right.
another home invasion.
Yeah.
Or, so-and-so got murdered, or they found a body here. But he said, what's alarming is the amount of stuff that's covered up that doesn't actually make it to the media
Oh, it's
that you hear
insane.
from law enforcement or people that come into his Florida Firearms Academy.
Yeah, it's insane. I've got plenty of friends in the law enforcement industry, and even they would tell you that what's not being reported is like an iceberg compared to what they're actually reporting.
Wow.
Just because what they're reporting is based on who's trying to get the views or who's trying to get the advertisements or the attention or whatever. It doesn't have really much to do with whether or not they're trying to educate you.
Right.
So your education is your responsibility when it comes to your self-defense. And there's 6 types of self-defense, which are mental, physical, verbal, behavioral, territorial, and monetary. So if you understand that self-defense doesn't just have to do with putting your hands up and protecting yourself in a physical situation, there's a whole spectrum to it. So that would be my biggest one of my biggest things I'd like to tell everybody on the show listening is that understand the 6 types of self-defense.
Yeah.
And start getting more involved in that, because you got to protect yourself from verbal attacks.
Yep.
From mental attacks, from monetary attacks, people trying to take your money, from territorial attacks, people trying to destroy your property or whatever you own. So many different types of self-defense. So it's not just the physical.
And a lot of it does start mental when you think about it. It's the ability to be aware, like we've talked about before.
Totally.
Just to have the awareness when you're walking out of the mall,
Right.
just to have your head kind of turning. We used to kind of joke about it in football. You ever see those crackback hits in football?
Yep.
Somebody's they're running like this trying to go after the tackle or the runner, and all of a sudden the defender comes up and cracks them back.
Right.
Crackback. So we used to joke about keeping your head on a swivel.
Absolutely.
Otherwise you're going to end up with an ear hole hit.
Yeah.
And so, but that's true in life as well when you think about it.
It is definitely true in life, and I love using football as references to self-defense. One, because
too.
I love the game. I have a lot of respect for the game, but it's one of those games that really requires a certain level of self-defense at all times.
Right.
Especially having you being a quarterback in those days.
Yep.
I mean, their job was to defend you, but you also had to have your own defense for those sacks. So it's if you're that interested in learning the many aspects of self-defense, that's why I obviously come to the show, so I can tell people, look, I exist. It does exist. I can teach you. Get involved. it doesn't take too terribly long to learn, depending on the kind of time you have.
Right.
So if you don't have a lot of time, well, make sure you keep your expectations on par with that. If you can't invest enough time into wanting to learn how to defend yourself in those ways, well, then you're going to have to walk away knowing and understanding and admitting that you're vulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah, and it could be something. I think a lot of times we, as humans, we underestimate what we can accomplish in 5 years or 3
totally.
years. If you get consistent and do a half an hour twice a week, you could get not to say a black belt, but
right.
just depending on how you do it, you could get pretty confident and consistent with your ability to defend yourself.
You absolutely can. There's so much mumbo jumbo, I'll call it, or so much too much mysticism in the martial arts world. Like, okay, well, it's going to take you this long to get a black belt or that long or whatever. Well, that's based on how they're teaching it. That's not based on the fact that it's not going to actually take you that long. And besides, I'm going to backtrack and say that whenever you hear about somebody talk about a black belt, that's no different than a high school diploma. It's not really that impressive. It just means that you've got a start. But when you get a black belt in anything, depending on the standard that they have it based on, if their standards are high, then yes, it probably would take you between 10 and 15 years to get one, if the standards are high enough.
So if I'm hearing you, it's subjective.
It's very subjective. Right, it's very subjective. Because, you could go to one school, it could take you 3 years to get one.
Right.
You go to another school, it could take you 10.
Especially I could see, for the administrator of those belts.
Yes.
Oh, well, I've trained 35 black belts.
Right.
Yeah.
And because you got these after-school programs and all these schools trying to pay the overhead, they have to appease the population to keep turning out black belts. And you're like, well, you just lowered the standard to especially for a child-based business and trying to get the developmental side of martial arts across to children so they can learn how to move better physically. You're lowering the standard drastically because you're trying to get the cash flow. So that's really dangerous when it comes to teaching people how to physically handle themselves, mentally handle themselves, behaviorally, and all that. You're lowering the standard because you have a cash flow issue.
Yeah.
So I think for me, the businesses out there for martial arts businesses, make sure you keep your cash flow issues separate from the issues you're having with teaching.
Right.
Fix those on a separate basis. Don't try to say, okay, well, we need to pump out more belts and lower the standards just to keep paying the rent. Well, you might have to face the fact that you might not have the right kind of business to be able to produce cash flow.
All right, when we come back, let's talk about some practical strategies, things that people can do to be aware, be alert, and maybe some of the strategies and the tools of the trade.
Absolutely.
When we come back, let's talk about that. Also, we're going to bring Leo Cannyn into the conversation, and we're expecting a call-in from Paul Romero, the Director of Sales and Marketing with Kimpton's, the Hotel Zamora on St. Pete Beach. So stay with us. Also, Thursday, live event, Brio Tuscan Grill, the 18th at Brio Tuscan Grill. Come check us out. We're going to have a live show followed by our monthly gratitude party. So come hang out and meet our expert contributors. So stay with us. Don't touch that dial. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, owner of Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. We're looking for listings right now. We have a lack of inventory in the market. There's a lack of sellers. We have buyers that are looking to move into the area, but we just cannot find the right inventory for them. Reach out, PlatinumMVPRealty.com, PlatinumMVPRealty.com, and you can see our listings there. And a couple of hot listings I want to let you know about here in Tampa Bay. We've got 6601 Crikel Avenue in Tampa. This is Bloomingdale. We just listed this last week, $349,000, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, and it is a 3,300 square foot home. Beautiful fenced-in backyard. So this is a great property. This is a great opportunity for a family that has a fenced-in backyard. A great buying opportunity at 6601 Crikel Avenue in Riverview. And also a Apollo Beach just listed as well. Another new listing from a couple of weeks back, 6508 Bimini Court, Apollo Beach. Direct access out into the Gulf of Mexico. $690,000. Fisherman's Paradise here in Apollo Beach. And it's a beautiful pool home on a canal, saltwater canal, bay access, 5,600 square feet, large home in Apollo Beach. Check out all of our listings at PlatinumMVPRealty.com, PlatinumMVPRealty.com. Giving a shout out to our official cleaning partner here at the Consumer Quarterback Show, Two Maids and a Mop. Our official cleaning company they provide excellent service, and a clean house helps you feel better. And Two Maids and a Mop offers free cleaning to cancer patients. And with Two Maids and a Mop, your approval rating matters. The pay rate for the staff is based on your evaluation. If you need a cleaning company, it's Two Maids and a Mop. All right, we're back here in studio. Joe Harrison in the house, martial arts expert, and we got Paul Romero calling in on the phone. So let's go ahead and let's talk to Paul right now. So Paul, Director of Sales and Marketing, Kimpton's, the Hotel Zamora. Welcome in, sir.
Brandon, how are you? Thanks so much for having me.
Doing well, doing well. What's new over on that side of the Tampa Bay?
Well, we just got a new chef, Chef Will Artley. He was on the show Chopped. He was also a chef at the White House. So this guy's a real deal. He's putting out his new menu today. So, you should really come and try this new menu. It's pretty phenomenal, unlike anything I've ever seen.
Very cool. So he was on the show Chopped, and he's also been in the White House. Who was the president when he was in the White House?
Obama.
Did any good stories? Any particular meals that he liked?
I don't think so. I don't. He never really mentioned it, but I should have him on the show one time so he could really get into it. I'm sure he's got some good stories. He's got to.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's a great idea. We'll get Chef Will on the show. So that's at the restaurant on site at Kimpton's, the Hotel Zamora. That is the
Castile Restaurant.
Castile, yep. The Castile Restaurant. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner available still.
Absolutely. So how'd you enjoy your time here on New Year's?
Oh, it was great. A beautiful, beautiful time away and kind of getting settled back into the, the swing of things here back in Tampa Bay. But, yeah, it's always a pleasure to go down. Enjoy. There's so many things to do. My daughter and I have kayaked before out back, of course, hanging out at the pool, the hot tub, and also the bikes. The biking is a great experience. Went up and down the beach on the beach cruisers and get some exercise in there. So there's so many things to do. Got a couple workouts in as well. At the workout facility, the fitness center on site. So definitely a lot to do there at the Hotel Zamora.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And we're right. Football throw away from the Gulf of Mexico, so you'd always get some exercise out on the beach. So that's a lot of fun. We also have our own private beach setups for anybody, which is included in your resort fee, as well as the bikes and the kayaks, etc. So we're rocking and rolling here, Brendan. We're coming into the busy season, January, February, March. When everyone wants to get out of the cold. So that's a good time here. So we're doing well, loving life.
Busy times. Any special events? Anything coming up?
Valentine's Day is going to be crazy for Castile. I do know that. I know they're going to be doing like a 4-course dinner, so get your reservations in ASAP. And so I know that's going to be a crazy night. We're having a lot of corporate buyouts at the hotel, so that's exciting stuff. And yeah, just staying busy. This hotel is going to be pretty jam-packed from now to the foreseeable future.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, so it's a great place to hang out. For any of our listeners out there, we got a special package in mind for them, a special discount opportunity as well.
Yep, it's a QB rate code, and you come in, you have a special rate, and once I see a QB rate code pop up, I stick an amenity in your room, whether it be wine, whether it be a charcuterie board, whatever, and yeah, it'll be a good time.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we're talking with Paul Romero. He's the Director of Sales and Marketing for Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. And, yeah, it's just a beautiful whitewashed Mediterranean palace. And it's the first new hotel built on St. Pete Beach in decades. I mean, it's a gorgeous place. If you haven't seen it, you got to get out there and check them out. So, parting words, Paul?
Yeah, first new build in 2 decades. I just want to challenge anybody who comes in and on the QB rate code. Our Director of Engineering, Liam Turnbull, he claims that he's undefeated in rock, paper, scissors. So anybody who challenges Liam in rock, paper, scissors and wins, they get a free bottle of champagne on me in their room.
Nice. Okay. All you have to do is beat Liam in paper, rock, scissors, and
the rock, paper, scissors. He claims he's undefeated lifetime. I don't buy it. So the first anybody who beats him, they get a bottle of champagne on me.
Nice. Okay, that sounds good. Well, Paul, thanks for calling in. Say hello to John. Say hello to the whole team over there. We appreciate you.
I will. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Take care. All right.
Bye.
So Kipton's, the Hotel Zamora, beautiful St. Pete Beach. Got to check them out. That's our official hotel partner, the Consumer Quarterback Show, longtime friends of the program. And, yeah, that sounds cool. We'll have to get Chef Will on the show and talk about the restaurant there. He was a White House chef under the Obama administration. Pretty cool. Pretty interesting.
Try some of that food.
Probably has some good stories there,
right?
See, maybe some interesting stories. So, all right. So back here in studio, we've got Leo Cannyn, principal manager with Beryl Engineering, project manager. That is Joe Harrison, Harrison Martial Arts, owner of Harrison Martial Arts, and conveniently located in Clearwater.
Correct.
So. Let's see. So I wanted to kind of give an idea. We got people out there listening, driving in their vehicles. Maybe they're watching our TV show on WeBeam TV. But what are some practical things that they can do when they feel threatened or in their position? Maybe they are getting jumped. Maybe they're getting mugged. What's something practical that they can do, or that they can just be ready to defend themselves?
Well, definitely keep your keys handy. You can grip your keys in a very specific way. Because that hurts. Have you ever been hit by keys before? It doesn't feel pleasant, especially if they hit the eyes.
Yeah.
The eyes, throat, and the groin are the 3 main targets at any self-defense situation.
What if the key doesn't have a key?
Well, see, now I'm glad you brought that up, because things are changing. The world is a changing place, which is why you have to continue to maintain your self-defense standards.
Yeah.
Because the standards will always change, because the world changes and technology changes. So, it's very good that he brought that up, because we are getting to that point where keys are no longer something we're just going to have.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have a key chain, or something like he's just got that little...
the fob, I think you call it, like a key fob.
So obviously only certain cars are going to have that for a while, but then eventually most of them are going to have it. So once again, consider your surroundings, consider where you're coming out of, where you're going to, make your considerations of who you're with, the type of people that you surround yourself with on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. Obviously, if you went to a place that you shouldn't have went, that was a mistake you made. That you probably shouldn't have made. But keep an eye out as well as you can in your peripheral. Keep your peripheral view strong. Don't let anything get out of your field of view. If you're trying to go from A to B, you're trying to go from this building to your car. If you feel like you're in danger, don't let anything get out of your field of view. So you might have to take a different route to your automobile so that you can keep certain things in your field of view. So that'd be one. But the one thing I would like to say to everybody is the bad people of the world don't need to outnumber the good people to win. Think about the Vegas shooting, one guy.
Yeah.
Think about the Columbine shooting, 2 kids.
Yep.
Okay? So the bad people of the world never need to outnumber us because they had a plan before we did. They don't need that. They need a few people to win.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why it's important to continue to maintain your self-defense standards, is because it just doesn't take that many bad people to really hurt us all. So we just have to maintain those standards.
Excellent. More from Joe Harrison coming up as well. Leo Cannyn, Beryl Engineering, and our feel-good story of the week is for the first time in a century, humpback whales have returned to New York City. Also have our Name That Tune coming up. So stay with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to have some fun with you on our Name That Tune. Want to remind you about our live event as well, Thursday the 18th over at Brio Tuscan Grill International Plaza. Come check us out. We got networking after the broadcast, and we got a show that's a live broadcast, 5 o'clock drive time, 1380 The Biz, live at Brio Tuscan Grill International Plaza. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
This is Ward Dunn, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show, hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. Listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, the Consumer Quarterback Show. Platinum MVP Realty and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. Property listing of the month. We got a beautiful property in Clearwater Beach, Mandalay. It's Mandalay Avenue over in Clearwater. 1024 Mandalay Avenue in Clearwater. Now, this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath property over 1,800 square feet with a split floor plan, and it's North Clearwater Beach. Beautiful property, minutes to the Gulf. Everything that you can enjoy on the beaches. It's a private community located north side of the beach, and you got a lot of great restaurants, of course, direct access. You walk just a short walk over, and you're on the north part of the beach, Clearwater Beach, and it's a brick pavers all the way around with a beautiful circular entrance, and the backyard is immaculate as well, and a beautiful tropical field. Check out this property, 1024 Mandalay Avenue, Clearwater, Florida, Clearwater Beach, and check them out at PlatinumMVPRealty.com. All of our listings can be viewed at PlatinumMVPRealty.com. And I've got a shout out to Total Brokerage. Are you looking for a way to maximize efficiencies in your real estate business and consolidate all of the cumbersome and expensive software that you're currently using on a daily basis? Well, we have some great news. Recently, I was introduced to a revolutionary software package called Total Brokerage. It's a cloud-based solution that is completely mobile-friendly, and it integrates all of the critical software pieces in business: CRM, lead management, communications, email marketing, documents, forms, transactions, e-signatures, financial management, and compliance. Check out Total Brokerage. If you're a real estate company out there, check out Total Brokerage. My friends Michael and Ben will definitely want to help you out with that. All right, coming up, we got our Name That Tune segment. We're going to have songs from we got songs that have sold over 10 million copies included in our Name That Tune segment today. We got our Feel Good Story of the Week coming up as well about humpback whales, and for those that care about the environment, it's an interesting content and a story there for you. In studio today, we've got Leo Cannyn, Beryl Engineering. He's a project manager with Beryl Engineering, structural engineering. Also, Joe Harrison, martial arts expert, owner of Harrison Martial Arts. All right, Leo. So, Leo, we talked about, in the teaser there, in the beginning of the show, you talked about mobile homes, things happening there.
Yeah, with the inventory being down as low as it is, mobile home parks are actually becoming more popular for the snowbirds to move into. They're called manufactured homes.
Yep.
If you're going to purchase one using FHA or VA financing, you actually need to have it inspected by an engineer and not a home inspector. And a lot of times the realtors don't know that, so they hire a company like J. Snoop, does an excellent job at home inspections.
Yep.
And then the mortgage company's like, well, where's your engineering sign-off? So then they need to come back and hire us to do the second half of the inspection, which is looking at the tie-downs, making sure that it's hurricane-proof, it's not going to blow over, it's not going to wash away in a flood. We're looking for specific things with the structure of the mobile home. Is the roof going to peel off? Things of that nature. So it's important to know, if depending on the type of financing you're doing, if it's FHA or VA or 203K, make sure you're getting the right inspector out there first, because the last thing you want to do is pay for two of the same inspection because that person just doesn't happen to have a different license.
Yeah, and there's some interesting products. We had a show last week with Mario Larrea, MI Mutual Mortgage. We had a great talk about the different comparisons between an FHA, the 203K loan, and then the Fannie Mae renovation style loan. Some really quality products that allow people to buy in the school district that they want. Maybe they can't find the inventory, since we are battling this low inventory right now in Tampa Bay specifically. When you look at that, there's some great loan products out there that are able to, let's say you found a home, it's 3 bedrooms, but it only has the 1 bath. These are great programs. You guys work with that?
Yeah, we work a lot with the home style. The home style in the 203K are great. The 203K, we can take a 3-1 and turn it into a 2-2 to fully maximize the space and the value. With the home style, though, we can put whole additions, and we're working right now with a company out of Ybor that does home model kits.
Yep.
So we're able to... It used to be if you wanted to put a 600 square foot addition on the back of your home, it was $60,000. But now, using a steel kit that we can tie into your existing home, we can bring that cost down to $35,000 to get a 600 square foot addition. So it's making it more affordable. And with the home style program, when you buy your home, you can include the cost of one of these kits in the home loan. So you're basically adding a master bedroom, bathroom, suite, drastically increasing the property values, and you're coming in way under what it's going to appraise for.
Yep.
because these steel kits are much cheaper to build than traditional block.
Yeah, so you'll be walking into instant equity.
That's a smart way to do it.
Yeah, especially when you see the kitchens that need to be redone. You know, sometimes the folks, they live in these homes, they don't do a lot of renovations at all, and you're in a position where, you know, hey man, I knew if I had these extra dollars, but now it's built into the loan, so it makes it where it's pain free.
Yeah, it's just great when someone can move into a house, seller didn't budge on the price, they get a new roof, new AC system for $20 a month.
Yeah,
I mean, you're never going to get financing that good if you're going to do it post closing.
Yep.
The best you can do is maybe AC companies will finance you 12 months, or a roofer might give you 6 months. But now we're talking about $20 a month for the life of the loan for the house. You got the new roof, you got the new AC. You're not going to blow through those components before you probably move on to your next house. So it's a smart way to do it.
We're talking with Leo Cannyn here, representing Beryl Engineering. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. Now, yesterday I had a great meeting. We had a kind of a brokers open, Total Title, one of our sponsors, premium sponsors. We had a pitch session, North Pinellas pitch, at one of my properties, and it was interesting because I met a representative from one of the nonprofits, a local nonprofit that helps with the down payment assistance, the bond programs, and it was kind of a cool refresher for me because it's been a little while since I looked into some of those programs. But you know, there's programs out there where you know, you got to qualify. There's certain qualifications. Pinellas County has a lot of money available, especially different municipalities, but you can get up to $35,000 of free down payment assistance money for specific, you know, you got to qualify into a home, you know, and it comes structured as a 5-year loan, I believe.
It's great. I mean, the way they're doing these is they're qualified for first-time home buyers, and first-time home buyers in each municipality is different. The shortest is if I haven't bought a house in 2 years, I'm a first-time home buyer again.
Yeah.
That's on the federal level.
Yep.
No, City of Tampa is like 5 years. So even though you've bought a house before, you can still be a quote-unquote first-time home buyer if you just haven't done it in a while.
Within 1 year, this one was. So they've even loosened the regulations.
Yeah, so just finding out if you can get a grant, if you can get free money, if you can get low finance money to do that 80-20 on that mortgage split, go for it. Talk to your realtor, talk to your mortgage officer. Go to the county website, go to the city website, look into buyer assistance programs. They're out there. You should take advantage of them. They just help you stretch that dollar because right now most prices out there are overpriced. So this kind of helps with that.
Yeah, and it's a system where as long as you don't sell or refinance the property within 5 years, that money just basically goes away. I mean, there's no loan. It's a down payment assistance. It's a grant. It's a bond program. And I think part of it, kind of diving deeper, is a lot of the banks, the local banks, they have to reinvest back in the community. So it's a reinvestment opportunity from the government where they're basically mandating that these banks have a certain amount of those funds available.
There's another program out there called SHIP, which is actually doing the renovation loan in a house you already own. And with the SHIP program, if you qualify, they'll upgrade your home for hurricane standards, for ADA standards. They'll modernize it. And as long as you're there for 10 years, you don't owe any of the money back. And I've seen these things up to as high as $75,000.
Yep.
So it's here's a free $75,000 if you're willing to stay in your home for 10 years.
Yeah. SHIP program. PACE is another one that Mark Ogles, a friend of mine, has talked about on the show before. Preferred Alternative Clean Energy. You know, some are similar where it's structured on their tax breakdown, tax assessment, that is, and it's based on, you know, things that are going to make the house more efficient with the roof, windows, maybe even adding solar. So there's a lot of things that people can do, and we're going to actually what we're going to do is I'm putting together right now a workshop. So 3 or 4 weeks out, 4 or 5 weeks out, we're going to have a workshop teaching people how to do this, kind of like a buyer seminar, where we're going to say, hey, you know, we're going to have the expert from the local nonprofit that's going to say, hey, here's the programs that are available, here's what you have to qualify, and then we'll have our buyer agents team there to help set them up with the properties, kind of walk them through the process, and we'll have local lenders as well on site. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have some of those announcements on our website, consumerqb.com, consumerqb.com. Reach out if you have any questions, comments, or concerns with the show. We'd love to talk to you. 813-670-7372. 670-7372. And yeah, so when you look at the real estate industry, it's such a strong place to be. Things are looking great. The stock market is still on that bull. When's it going to pull back? With the real estate space, it's an opportunity to get into an insurable asset, something that you pretty much know is going to appreciate over time. We're not going to have another crash like we did prior. So it's a great place to be, man. We're good.
Yeah, and that's why I'm diversifying out of it.
Yeah, there you go.
not to completely be out of it, but I talked about this yesterday. I just want to diversify because, as we were talking about yesterday, the time to go into other markets is like the time to do marketing and advertising isn't when you desperately need it. It's when you don't need it.
Right.
So I'm diversifying now out of real estate. So when the real estate correction occurs, I'm set, and I don't have to downsize or do anything with the staff.
Yeah. If there's a correction, right?
It'll happen.
It'll pull back a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially here in Tampa Bay. Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, even down to Bradenton, Sarasota. This region, there's such a demand. There's so many people moving here. Our mayors have done a great job of attracting both students and jobs. So we've got a great thing happening here. So, all right, stay with us here, Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, more from our expert contributors. Going to bring Joe Harrison back into the conversation. He's a martial arts expert, owner of Harrison Martial Arts. Leo Cannyn in the house as well, Beryl Engineering, and also we are going to have our Name That Tune songs that are over 10 million sold, 10 million copies sold on these songs, and we have our Feel Good Story of the Week. So for the first time in a century, humpback whales have returned to New York City. Stay with us here, Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP Realty, and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. And let's give a shout out to Signature Massage and Facial Spa. Are you looking for a place to get a massage or a facial at an affordable price, but without having to sign up for a membership? Look no further. At Signature Massage and Facial Spa, they offer a 1-hour sweetest massage, $49.95. Always no contracts. For those muscles and knots that need extra work, ask about getting a deep tissue or sports massage. And if skincare is what you're looking for, they have amazing facial and microderm packages. Check out Signature Massage and Facial Spa, 11248 West Hillsborough Avenue in Tampa, or call 813-925-8898, 925-8898 to schedule an appointment. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you, and you're going to get a $10 discount off your first service with Signature Massage and Facial Spa. All right, we're back here in studio. We're going to have some fun with you here in studio today. We've got Joe Harrison, Harrison Martial Arts, Leo Cannyn, Beryl Engineering, and it's time for Name That Tune.
Ladies and and gentlemen, name that tune.
Name that tune. All right, here we go. Here's popular song. Now, these are today's list features singles that sold over 10 million copies. And I'll give you a hint. This one is our show producer Anthony's one of his favorite artists.
Britney Spears.
I'm just kidding. Hopefully he hears that and laughs about it. Britney Spears. What's the song though?
Hit Me One More Time or Baby. Yeah.
How many did they sell?
Got nothing.
1998, they sold.
I wanted 10 million or less, please.
10 million. 10 million.
10 million or less,
yes,
please.
10 million. All right, here we go. Song 2. Name it.
Ooh, Rockin' Around the Clock.
Rock Around the Clock. That's right. In record time. Now, who sings that song?
Bill something and his Comets.
That's right. Man, did he see this list? He's getting them so fast.
Oh, I'm not going to do the next one then. I'm just
kidding. No, we're kidding.
Sit back.
What year was that song, Leo?
Most of its hits came out in 1960.
Yeah, he was 54. This
yeah,
one.
So.
And then how many did he sell?
He's a 20 millionaire easily.
Yeah, 25 million.
Yeah.
All right, song number 3.
There was something in the air that night. The stars were bright.
She knows what it is.
Fernando, ABBA, ABBA, ABBA. 1976, 10 million.
I would have guessed that if I was allowed to.
But you can guess.
Okay. All
right, here we go.
Tony Braxton, I Break My Heart.
Yeah. 10 million, 1996.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Is she still around?
Yeah.
1996.
I think she does the Epcot Food and Wine Festival, I think.
Nice.
Cool. All right, last song.
Is this? Oh my God, I haven't heard this song in like 20 years. We Are the World?
Oh, that's a lot of people singing.
Yeah, I can't. We'll just go with like the United States Recording Artists Association.
Yeah.
Right.
USA for Africa.
Yeah, I haven't heard that
20
song
million.
in 20 years.
20 million sold, 1985.
Michael Jackson's on that.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so name that tune. Successful name that tune. Let's have some positivity injection here for you. We got our Tell Me Something Good segment.
Tell me something good.
All right, for the first time in a century, humpback whales have returned to New York City. For the first time, they have returned to New York Harbor, and not just occasionally either. They're coming in numbers that a tour group can reliably take tourists out to see them. The whales are coming to New York City to feed before migrating south to the Caribbean waters for the winter. And our survey shows an exponential increase in the number of whales since 2011 when we first began our studies, he added. Prior to that, the whales were only seen intermittently. Cleaner waters, due to legislation to protect the environment, have lured fish back into the city, giving whales a variety of other marine wildlife and all-you-can-eat buffet. And I've finished these waters for 40 years. I've never seen so much life. I've seen my first whales, dolphin, and schools of massive rays that stretch for miles. It's amazing, local fisherman Stony Barrett said. So, good story.
Nice.
The EPA legislation's working.
That's it.
Very nice.
Good stuff. Although I think some of that got rolled back recently. Some of the EPA stuff. I don't know. Not an expert on that. But all right, let's jump into our lightning round here.
The lightning round.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
All
I
right.
majored in lightning
Top
rounds.
tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Joe Harrison Martial Arts.
Here we go. I would say for anybody, male or female, try to keep your ego and your arrogance in check when it comes to your personal safety. Because less than 7% of the population knows how to actually defend themselves in a situation, especially an unpredictable one, make sure you keep those egos and arrogance in check. You've got to be very involved in your self-protection. We're 7.5 billion people on the planet. Just be careful. They're not all good, and like I said before,
Yeah.
the bad people don't have to outnumber us, you know?
Yeah.
And so that'd be my biggest, one of my biggest, pieces of advice for everybody is just stay very involved in your self-protection, especially if you have children,
Yeah.
If you have children, family, significant other, whatever, stay safe, get involved in your own personal safety.
Yeah, good stuff. Leo Cannyn.
Well, speaking of ego and arrogance, if you're at the bar and it's a music trivia, if you want to be on the winning team, make sure you come by and see me. And then I can be paid in beer. I'll help your team win music trivia.
That's funny. Yeah, you'd be good on one of those shows, man. You ever try to sign up for one of those shows?
Not really. I'd love to, but you just usually have to go to L.A. You have to go to New York. You have to see Drew Carey in Cleveland. I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Love to be on Price is Right.
So here's something that I wanted to add into our conversation. We were talking about the down payment assistance, these different programs. So here's an interesting story I came across. It said borrowers lose home equity tax deduction. So the legislation passed signed by President Donald Trump, home equity loans will no longer be tax deductible. Historically, borrowers could deduct home interest or loans up to $100,000. With the new law, that deduction is gone, and unlike deduction for mortgage interest on primary mortgage, home equity deductions are disappearing for both new and existing borrowers. No one will be grandfathered in. All home equity loans will become more expensive in 2018. What's your take on that?
It kind of makes sense. I mean, like, can you deduct credit card interest?
Right. That was my point.
Because a home equity loan is nothing more than a credit card where the bank is your house.
Yep.
And that's really what it is. So I mean,
that's smart. I think it's actually smart.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to incentivize people to take out a home equity line, buy a motorcycle, put a pool in. Well, a pool would actually be a good example to increase your equity. But going back to the credit cards, the motorcycles, the toys, those are going to be items that are now secured under your home mortgage, which could potentially lead to more default and foreclosure. So that's a step. That's another example of smart legislation that's going to incentivize home ownership. It takes a little bit out of the tax deductions, but there's a lot of tax breaks that were added into this as well.
Yeah, didn't they double the standard deduction?
Yes.
Yeah,
they doubled that.
Much rather have double of my standard deduction than my credit card interest being written off.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of other things that went out. The corporate tax from the C Corps went down from 35% down to 21%. A lot of great things that happened with this, and that leads to overall optimism in the economy. People are going to be spending more. They're going to be investing more. They're going to be going out and taking those steps that they may not have taken prior to, with some things that they may have said, I'm going to save that money or be a little bit more hesitant on spending. So that's going to be good for us. So that was an interesting story out of, let's see, where was this from? Forbes. All right, so let's do another round here. Lightning round. Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Joe Harrison.
Okay, we're going again. Well, so I've got a few things. I've got a workshop coming up. This is another piece of advice. Come to our Tactical Baton workshop on January 20th. It's going to be on a Saturday from 10 to 2. It's on the website, www.harrisonmartialarts.com. Make sure you let Brandon know that you want to come to the show or to the workshop, and we will give you a discount for that. So make sure you email him and email me as well. But it's January 20th on a Saturday, 10 to 2. Clearwater, yep, at my location. So I call it a tactical baton workshop because we're going to be doing a lot of stuff on impact-based weapons. Okay, so it's incredibly important because you can find something to hit somebody with almost anywhere. So impact-based weapons, that's basically what it is. So lastly, just be really careful about your perceptions about self-defense and personal safety in martial arts, because they've been so convoluted over the years that nobody knows what it is anymore. Mm-hmm. Typically when you say martial arts, people think of a guy in a white gi and a belt. It's totally wrong.
Yeah.
It's totally wrong, and it's not that I shouldn't say it's wrong, but it's wrongly perceived.
Yeah. I saw one of your posts on Facebook too. It's like the after-school care for kids. It's karate and stuff like that.
Oh man, it's terrible. It's just they've totally milked that cow to the point that that's our only perception of it. Yeah. That's all we know. It's like, okay, if I said, well, if Ford was the only car on the road.
Yeah.
It's not. There's so many different brands and styles and body types of cars. Different cars do different things. Yep. So same thing with martial arts. It's the same thing. There's so many different styles and systems out there. In the United States, there's only maybe 6 or 7 systems of the world, and there's more than 500,000 systems of martial arts since the dawn of humans. So
that's pretty crazy.
So we only know what we're being told.
Yeah.
So it's really sad that most people can't even name but maybe 2 or 3. MMA, karate, Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, whatever. But I'm like, that's like
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga. They can't cite different systems of styles of martial arts. But hey, that's the way it is. So hopefully I'm going to change that.
Thank you to Joe Harrison for coming in, Leo Cannyn as well. Thanks to all of our listeners and viewers out there of our show. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness, something as simple as packing up leftover food, clothing you may have, carrying it with you, be a force for good in the community, and donate, be the best you can be. And we'll see you next time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.